Sports Desk.
Welcome to Sideline Spotlight. I'm Big Will Evanson. It's hard to believe, but we are already in week 7 of the college football season, and we have yet another huge lineup of games on tap today. But before we get into that, let's see where the AP Top 10 stands. Georgia is back in the top 10. They moved up 2 spots after beating Kentucky 1 week ago. Alabama also bounces up 2 spots. The Tide are at 8. Oklahoma dropped 1 spot to number 6. Texas A&M is 5th. Just ahead of them is the 4th-ranked team in the country, the Ole Miss Rebels. Miami jumps Oregon to move to number 2, and the Ohio State Buckeyes are still the number 1 team in the nation. All right, let's talk about the games you'll see here on News Channel 9 today. First up, Alabama. They are in Columbia to take on Missouri. The Tigers are ranked 14th and are undefeated on the year. Alabama knocked out Vanderbilt last week 30-14. The Tide's defense shined in that win, forcing a big turnover on an early drive and holding the Commodores to just 2 scores. And the Tide finally got their run game going with Jam Miller breaking 100 yards and scoring the game-sealing touchdown. Meantime, Missouri, they've been playing at a high level. The Tigers are averaging 45 points a game and also have a stout defense to go along with that. The Tide are in the midst of a 4-game stretch all against ranked teams. Coach Kalen DeBoer says stretches like this are expected in the SEC.
I think the whole thing isn't like it's not a surprise that we're facing this team that that's going to be at a high level on the road, and so it's taken all of our experiences that we've been through and applying it, knowing that going on the road is hard in the SEC, knowing that any game in the SEC is hard.
Alabama-Missouri kicks off at noon. Moving down to the Red River rivalry, 6th-ranked Oklahoma takes on Texas. The Longhorns have been one of the biggest stories in college football for all the wrong reasons. They were the preseason number 1 team in the country heading into week 1, but after last week's surprise loss to Florida, the Longhorns find themselves unranked with their playoff chances hanging on by a thread. Coach Steve Sarkisian says he believes the team can correct their mistakes starting this week, but it all comes down to their mindset.
We've been down this road before. As a coach, you'd love to say you play perfect every Saturday. There's always things to work on. But I think it starts with your mindset, and your attitude and your approach coming in. We don't have time for the poor me's. We don't have time for the woe is us. We got to come to work.
Texas OU goes down at 3:30 later on today. The Georgia Bulldogs have their 2nd road test of the season tonight. They face off with Auburn at 7:30 in the late game on News Channel 9 for another edition of the Deep South's oldest rivalry. Georgia got back on track, dominating Kentucky last week. Auburn is 3-2 on the year and has struggled to get anything going on the offensive side of the ball in recent weeks, but the Tigers, they boast a strong defense. The Dogs' offense got off to a fast start against Kentucky last week, which is something fans hope to see more of this season. Coach Smart says that will be a key if they want to get a win at Jordan-Hare.
That's the objective every game. How do we start fast? What do we do to start fast? And how can we execute better than the other team? Because at the end of the day, that's what it's about.
Auburn closes out our SEC triple header on News Channel 9. Over on Fox Chattanooga, we have 3 games. That includes number 1 Ohio State on the road against 17th-ranked Illinois at noon. Then TCU faces Kansas State, and Kansas takes on 9th-ranked Texas Tech, plus 2 games on the CW Chattanooga. Another huge day of college football on tap. Still ahead, Tennessee is back in action after a much-needed bye week. They welcome Arkansas to Knoxville, while Coach Heupel says the 2-3 Razorbacks create a unique challenge. Next.
Sideline Spotlight is sponsored by Chattanooga Closet Company. This is the TVFCU Sports Desk.
Welcome back to Sideline Spotlight. The Tennessee Volunteers are back in action today. They take on the Arkansas Razorbacks at Neyland Stadium. The Vols got an extra week to rest as they enter the second half of their schedule. UT moved up to number 12 in the AP poll and are still in the mix for a possible playoff spot. Arkansas, well, they've struggled this season, but they're under new leadership. Sam Pittman is out, and in comes Bobby Petrino as the Hogs interim head coach. Petrino has made a handful of changes on the team's defensive staff. Coach Josh Heupel says that made preparation challenging heading into today.
This is a unique situation, and so you prepare for what's on the tape, and you prepare for what potential unknowns could be as well. But you also understand that it's not going to be exact replicas of anything that you've seen on tape as well in this situation. So communication from staff and players will be really critical in this one.
Tennessee, Arkansas goes down at 4:15 on the SEC network. UTC will not be in action today. They are on a bye this week. The Mocs are resting up after knocking off VMI last week to secure their second win of the season. Coach Rusty Wright became the fastest Mocs football coach to 30 SoCon wins. With last week's victory, Chattanooga is 2-4 on the year and 1-1 in SoCon play. They are 5th in the conference standings. Up next for the Mocs, the ETSU Buccaneers. They will welcome them to Finley Stadium next Saturday. Before we go, let's take one last look at today's college football slate on News Channel 9. We kick off with Alabama facing unbeaten Missouri at noon. The Red River rivalry, Oklahoma, Texas at 3:30. Georgia and Auburn, they close out the night. That one starts at 7:30, plus a triple header on Fox Chattanooga and 2 games on the CW Chattanooga. News Channel 9 will be your home for all the big SEC matchups all season long. Be sure to go to newschannel9.com for more SEC mocks and high school football coverage. Have a great day.